What is up, awesome people of the internet? Hello, hello, hello. I hope y'all are doing fantastic. Because we got to talk about, guys. We got quite a bit to talk about. Hello, happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day. We got some news that came out today, and it led me to want to do a stream to talk about it. So today in the stream we're going to talk about the postseason awards for conferences. We're going to talk about who won, and then get into any discussions about who should have won. All right, so let's get ready to get into it. Hey, I am Joe. Oh, why is the? Oh, that's weird. Guys, I am using a different I'm using a different oh my goodness, can I talk today? I think I can. I'm using a different computer to do the stream, and so things are looking a little bit wonky on my side. All right, there we go. Now I can see everyone's post. All right, hello. I am Joe. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Jeff with the fire emojis. What up? What up, Michaela? What up, Michaela? Hey, Toya. And we got Alonzo from Alabama. All right, so we're going to talk about what happened. We're going to talk about who got snubbed, who didn't, and really just get into the conversation, because I think when we talk about postseason awards, it's always the fact that there'll always be people who don't get it, and then people are like, hey, they should have won this award, but they didn't get it, and there'll also be people who are like, yes, they absolutely deserve this award, and this was perfect decision by the committee. We're gonna talk about it. yeah. What up, y'all? What up? Beer. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Juju getting snubbed for the Pac-12 Player of the Year award. We're gonna talk about that. Volume is kind of low. It is. Let me see. Let me try to fix it. All right, guys. Is that better? Okay. Let me know. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me now. Folks in the chat are saying to turn the volume up. Yeah. Let me know if is this too low, or is this too loud now? Yeah. Let me know, guys, if this is better. My bad. I didn't realize it was low. All right, so you guys are saying yes. Okay, great. Okay, so let's talk about the awards. And we're going to start off with the SEC. So the Coach of the Year for the SEC was announced, and surprise, surprise, it is Dawn Staley. Of course, it is Dawn Staley. So Dawn Staley wins once again. Well-deserved. She was able to take a team that didn't have any returning starters from last season, and once again go undefeated in regular season play. It is just phenomenal what she has done with this team. And not just the fact that, they were able to transform the team with new players, or new starters, I should say, and a huge time transfer that came in Tahina Pau. And this team is not just the defensive team that they've always been, right? They also are offensive team as well. They did lead the SEC conference in points scored per game at 84.3 points a game. That's South Carolina. And then also they led the SEC conference in terms of defense, defensive points per game at 57.9. So teams against South Carolina only score 57.9 points a game. And South Carolina, they are able to have 84.3 points a game. And that is a margin. They have a winning margin of 26.3 points a game. That is the best in the conference. So, yeah, Dawn Staley is very much deserving of this award of Coach of the Year. Yes, there have been some great coaches in the SEC, but I mean, you just can't. How could you not acknowledge like what she has been doing with this team? Again, with no returning starters from last year. Of course, this upcoming year she'll have some returning starters, but this season, she really has done a fantastic job with the South Carolina Gamecocks. So yeah, South Carolina did win the Coach of the Year award. But when we went to talk about, let's talk about the Player of the Year award for the SEC that went to Angel Reese. In terms of who was in the running for it, I think it was like Camila Cardoso. You had Rakia Jackson with Tennessee. You had Anissa Morrow on LSU. But when it came down to it, truly the best player in the conference was Angel Reese. She really, and yes, you guys can talk about the fact that she missed part of the early part of the season, but that wasn't conference play. If you're just looking at SEC conference play, Angel Reese has been balling. She has been very, very good. When you look at points per game, she's scoring 19.1 points a game. She has 13 rebounds a game. Sizably a huge chunk of offensive rebounds per game as well. She has been the engine for this LSU team. She is the emotional leader for this team. And, she's no slouch on defense either. Not only can she score, but she can dish the ball out and get some assists in. And also, she could play some good defense as well. She, in addition to being the Player of the Year for the SEC, she was named to the All SEC first team, and then also the All SEC defensive team as well. So shout out to Angel Reese. She continues to do her thing for LSU. And, yes, I'm sure there's been folks that have sort of talked about like, who should have won and who shouldn't have won and whatnot. But I do believe that Angel Reese was the best player in the SEC. Yes, I said it before. I'll say it again. I do believe that Anissa Morrow also was very deserving of a look at that Player of the Year spot. But yeah, Angel Reese won it. She very much deserves it. So shout out to both Dawn Staley and Angel Reese for winning their respective awards. Let's see what y'all got to say about this. JB says Angels games didn't really matter much to me. They weren't conference games, but I know Camilla missed some games in the SEC. None of the games that Angel missed in the season was a part of the conference play. So yeah, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal that she missed those games. Bree Wayne says, yeah, Rakia is more talented. Yeah, I mean, Rakia Jackson is a baller. Facts. Absolutely baller. But when you look at a Player of the Year, usually it goes to one of the best teams in the league, right? And I think while she has been balling this season, I think her team's record is what hurt them in terms of her ability to win the Player of the Year award. So yeah, Rakia Jackson is extremely talented, but Tennessee is not very good, and I think that is what kind of cost her a little bit. All right, so yeah, let's continue down the list of SEC awards, and let's talk about the Freshman of the Year, which went to Michaela Williams for LSU. And yeah, there's been people who said like, "Oh, LSU swept the awards." They got some high profile awards. They sure did. Michaela Williams has won the Freshman of the Year. There's been quite a few freshmen that have been balling for the SEC this season, but again, it comes down to being on the better team. And that sort of giving you an edge. And I think that's what helped Michaela Williams. But even with that being said, Michaela Williams has been balling this season. She is just a freshman, but she's been averaging 14.9 points a game this season and 4.9 rebounds. 14.9 points a game and then 4.9 rebounds. Yes, her scoring has sort of eased up as of late. The last several games, she hasn't been as impactful as she has been sort of early and sort of midway through the season, but still, like, Michaela Williams, she's good, and she's going to be good for a very long time in the future. So yeah, that is something that I did want to specifically shout out, the fact that we have LSU with the Player of the Year and the Freshman of the Year. And moving on down the list, let's talk about the Defensive Player of the Year, which went to Camila Cardoso. So Camila Cardoso won the Defensive Player of the Year because, yeah, she is the top defender in the SEC, because who wants to be running down trying to get in the paint and then you have 6'7" Camila Cardoso ready to block your shot? It's just, she is just extremely, extremely good. She's averaged sorry, brain freeze. She's averaged a little bit over 2.6 blocks per game, and it's not just the fact that it's not just the fact that she gets a lot of blocks. It's also her ability to sort of alter the other players' shots. So, like, I think that is something that is absolutely huge for one, South Carolina, and also, she just is extremely dominant. Yes, you can also say Ashlyn Watkins has also been very dominant on the defensive end as well. Both of those players have been pretty phenomenal. But I think the reason why Camila Cardoso won is because Camila Cardoso is a starter. I think it would be kind of odd for the Defensive Player of the Year to go to someone who is coming off the bench, even though Ashlyn Watkins does play a lot of minutes. I think it had to go to Camila Cardoso. Like, I couldn't imagine them giving it to Ashlyn Watkins, just because she doesn't score a ton of points, she doesn't have as many minutes as Camila Cardoso. So yeah, I would say that's the difference. I think that okay, so there's some conversation in the chat about the Freshman of the Year. So let's go back to that real quick. So oh no, where did it go? There was someone who said that they thought that Malaysia Fulwiley should have won the Freshman of the Year. Yeah, Bree says Malaysia Fulwiley should have won the Freshman of the Year. So I don't agree with that. Malaysia Fulwiley has been amazing, but she hasn't been the best Freshman of the Year. She hasn't. She doesn't score as many points as Michaela Williams. I don't think she has as many assists as Michaela Williams in terms of just being on the floor a lot. Michaela Williams is a starter. Malaysia Fulwiley comes off the bench. There's a huge difference, I think, in between both players. Yes, Malaysia Fulwiley is extremely flashy, extremely like a fun player to watch. Absolutely. But I disagree. I disagree. She has been extremely talented, but I don't believe that she is that she should have been the freshman of the year. No. But shout out to Malaysia Fulwelly. She's been great. She has been great. All right, let's see what else y'all got to say. All right, let's move on to the sixth woman of the year. Now, this sixth woman of the year thing, there's a lot of discussion around the sixth woman of the year for the SEC. So it went to Leilani Correa. Leilani's great. She plays for Florida. In terms of her ability to get in the game and positively impact it is great. There has been some conversation that I've seen from folks about this particular award, and there's been discussion about, okay, well, who should have actually won this thing, right? So we look at a player like Leilani Correa, and we say, okay, number one, she has been very, very impactful for her team. So far this season, she is averaging 27 minutes a game. In terms of her ability to just sort of put points on the board, she can do that. She's her best game this season was like 30 something points against Ole Miss. And so far, she's averaging 17 points a game, 17.9 points a game. So, yes, absolutely, she has been extremely, extremely good for the Florida Gators. I would say that I was a little bit surprised that she won. Not because she doesn't deserve it, because I think she has been balling for her team and putting in some great minutes. However, when I think of the sixth woman of the year for the SEC, I think of one player. I think of Ashlyn Watkins. That's who I think of. Yes, Leilani is great, but I think that I really do think that Ashlyn Watkins should have won. In my opinion, just because it's not just the points that Ashlyn scores, because she doesn't score as many points as Leilani, but it's Ashlyn's ability to sort of cook on defense that is just, it's tough. It's tough to have a second unit come in and the second unit be just about as dominant as the first unit. But you can say the same thing for Leilani. Like, she has been extremely dominant and has been a huge player for Florida. She is in, for those who don't know, I believe she is in her senior year this year. Yeah, I mean, she won it. She deserves it. Yes. But also I do think that Ashlyn also deserved it as well. So maybe in my head, maybe it should have been like a co-award type thing, because both players have been absolutely balling. Bree says, Quita, what is Sixth Woman of the Year? So the Sixth Woman of the Year award goes to a player who is just that. So you have the starting five, and then you have one player who comes in and comes off the bench and is, cooking basically. And I really do enjoy the Sixth Woman of the Year award, because it shows the fact that just because you're not starting does not mean you're not a player who's on the court when the game's on the line and you really need a bucket, right? I think that's what Leilani does for Florida. I also think that's what Ashlyn Watkins can do for her team as well. So yeah, that's yeah. I wanted to just sort of talk about that real quick because yeah, when we talk about the Sixth Woman of the Year award, I think both players deserve to win. Of course, Leilani actually won it, but Ashlyn Watkins has been balling as well. So yeah, I did just want to mention that a little bit. So now let's kind of take a look at the first team All SEC. So we have several players. We have Sarah Ashley Barker with Alabama. We have Honesty Scott Grayson with Auburn. We have Anissa Morrow with LSU. Angel Reese with LSU. Marquisha Davis with Ole Miss. Madison Scott with Ole Miss. Camila Cardoso with South Carolina. And we have Rakia Jackson at Tennessee. Now, so yeah, that is the all first team SEC. Those are the award winners. Let me know, guys, in the chat what you all think about the players who won. I don't have any issues with this list. So I don't have a ton to say about this because yeah, I think it's a fine list. I really do. I have no problems with that at all. Philip says, why didn't Juju Watkins win Pac-12 Player of the Year? Well, Philip, we're gonna get into that. And actually, let's just get into that now. Let's just go right into it. Let's talk about the Pac-12. So, the Pac-12 put out their awards today, and here's what we got. We got Cameron Brink, who won the Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year award. We have Tamia Gardner, who won the Sixth Woman of the Year award. We have Juju Watkins, who won the Freshman of the Year award. And we have Kiki Iraofen, who won the Most Improved Player of the Year. So those are the list of winners for the Pac-12. So when we talk about the Pac-12, the Pac-12 is a stacked conference. When we talk about a conference that is just like absolutely dominant and you just don't know who's gonna be able to pull out the win, that's the Pac-12 for you right there. That is the Pac-12. And when we look at the Player of the Year and the Defensive Player of the Year in Cameron Brink, I mean, Cameron Brink is really good. I mean, how much can I say? Like, Cameron Brink is extremely talented for her team. She is the reason, her and Kiki Iraofen are the reason that this team looks the way that they do. So Stanford is number 2 in the country. They haven't lost that much this season. And they're just sort of balling. And the engine to sort of make everything go is Cameron Brink. So Cameron Brink this season is averaging 17.9 points a game. She is also averaging 12 rebounds a game. And she's shooting pretty efficiently at 53% from the field. Now. There's discussion, and I see y'all in the chat. There's discussion about whether or not another player should have won Player of the Year. Folks are talking about the fact that Juju Watkins did not win Player of the Year. Now, I think that Juju Watkins is phenomenal. She can flat out score. She's number 2 in the country in scoring. She can put the ball in the hole. However, here's the difference. Here is the difference, in my opinion, and the reason why I think Juju didn't win it. One is Cameron Brink. Not only can Cameron Brink do well offensively, Cameron Brink is extremely talented on the defensive end. So when you talk about how Camila Cardoso is very good for South Carolina for defense, like when it comes to Stanford, it's all about Cameron Brink and what she can do defensively. She has 100 blocks on the season so far this year. And the season's not even over yet. 100 blocks so far. She's a player who in the paint, she's going to make you adjust your shot when you're going up against Cameron Brink. She's going to have active hands. You know, she's going to put her hands in the passing lane and try to steal the ball. She's going to just sort of be there. So like you're not gonna go to the paint. You're gonna hit a jump shot or something like that. You're not going up toe to toe against Cameron Brink when she's on defense. I think that is the difference to me, because Cameron Brink is an excellent defender. Not only is she a great offensive player, but she is an excellent defender. And Juju Watkins can score. She can score her butt off. She can score, absolutely. But I think that that's the separator, is that Juju Watkins is not a defensive powerhouse like Cameron Brink is. And when you add powerful offense with powerful defense, I mean, it's a recipe for success. And I think that is why Cameron Brink won Player of the Year. Do I think that Juju deserved a serious look? Yes, absolutely. Do I think that Juju Watkins could have been a co-Player of the Year with Cameron Brink? Yes, absolutely. But I'm personally not upset at the fact that I'm not upset that Juju Watkins did not win Player of the Year. I know folks are talking in the chat about whether or not Juju should have got it, but Juju phenomenal. But I think it's the defense. It's the defense to me that separates her from a player like Cameron Brink. But Juju did win Freshman of the Year. She did win Freshman of the Year because she has been the best freshman in the country, let alone her and Hannah Hidalgo got to talk about in the country, but she has been for sure the best freshman in the Pac-12. She absolutely deserved that honor of Freshman of the Year. When we look at a player like Kiki Irafen, she absolutely deserved the Most Improved Player of the Year. I don't believe that Most Improved Player of the Year is a thing nationally, like for the NCAA. But if it was a thing, she would win that award because she's been very, very good. She's a player who didn't score that much at all last year, and now she's, look at what happened. look at her ability to score the basketball. Let's see what y'all got to say about what I said. I know I talked a lot. So let's see what y'all got to say in the comments. Bear says Juju is averaging 3 assists, a block, 3 steals a game, along with her almost 30 a game. Yeah, Juju is great, And if you're just looking at offense only, yes, I put Juju over Cameron Brink. But if you're looking at offense and defense, it's Cameron Brink, or they're tied. But yeah, that's my opinion. Bear says Juju cooked them head to head. Miss Peach says, is Cameron Brink more consistent than Juju? Does Cameron do more for her team? These are the questions you have to ask. So in terms of consistency, yes, I would say she's more consistent. Both are pretty consistent. But Cameron Brink is a very seasoned player. So she's going to be more consistent, I would say. In terms of does Cameron Brink do more for her team? No. Juju Watkins does more for her team than Cameron Brink does for her team. yeah, but also, Cameron Brink is on the best team in the Pac-12. And again, being on the best team does, in my opinion, affect your ability to win awards. So that is for sure a thing. But I will say this, Juju Watkins is a force to be reckoned with, a absolute force. So I wouldn't be surprised if, we look down the line and Juju wins Player of the Year next season, like all around Player of the Year for the whole NCAA. I wouldn't be surprised if she wins it next year and the year after that, and maybe even the year after that, because Juju Watkins is fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and she is the future of women's basketball. When you talk about women's basketball, you talk about the growth of women's basketball. It is players like a Juju Watkins who are going to help to bring the game forward. They're going to help to continue to elevate what we see for women's college basketball. KA says, I wonder if USC will get a natty with Juju. They do have some great freshmen coming in. They do have some great freshmen who are coming in the door next season. And if they can keep building, it's possible. It is absolutely possible. Not likely this year at all. But in the future, yeah, you don't want to mess with USC as long as they are able to keep Juju and continue to get some good recruits coming in the door. I mean, you can't. You're not going to be able to stop USC in the future. You're not going to be able to stop them at all. All right, let's continue on talking about the Pac-12, and let's get into the Coach of the Year, which is Tara Vanderveer. So Tara Vanderveer just continues to just be a fantastic coach. Again, I talked about it earlier. Stanford is the number one team in the Pac-12, a tough conference of the Pac-12. When you look at Tara Vanderveer, she is a player, or she's a coach who is able to inspire the best out of her players. And I think the reason why I would put her also as the Player of the Year for the Pac-12 is her ability to grow her players over time. And, most notably, it is in Kiki Iraofen. The fact that, she wasn't, she's okay, but no one talked about Kiki Iraofen. Like, she wasn't a player that you should look out for at all last season. Here comes the summer. All of a sudden she comes in the fall and she's looking like, who is this? Was she on the team last year? And I think that Tara has to she has a role in that. I also think the fact that Tara Vanderveer made history this year also severely helped her case to win Coach of the Year as well. So yeah, I would say that for sure probably helped her as well. All right, let's take a look at some of the other stuff to talk about. So when we talk about the all Pac-12 team, we got a lot of people, a lot of people. We got Reagan Beers with Oregon State. This is her, I think, second time winning or becoming a Pac-12 all Pac-12 player. We have Lauren Betts, who got it for the first time with her new team of UCLA. We have Cameron Brink, who I believe this is her third time actually, winning this. We have Mackenzie Forbes with USC, who made the all Pac-12 list for the first time ever. And then just sort of continue to go down the list. You can kind of see who won. Lots of Oregon State names, lots of UCLA names. I think that the Pac-12, the reason why we have so many players on this list is because the Pac-12 is tough. It's tough and it's stacked. Yeah, Michael, that's funny. Michael says, who didn't make the all Pac-12 team? Yes. Yeah. Who didn't? I mean, yeah. That is for sure a thing. All right, now let's kind of move on from the Pac-12 and let's move on to let's talk about the Big Ten, right? Let's talk about the Big Ten. And of course, if we're going to talk about the Big Ten, we are going to have to talk about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark won the Big Ten Player of the Year award for the third straight time. I mean, it's obvious. She is the best player in the Big Ten. Likely will win the Player of the Year award for like the entire NCAA because she's Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark doing Caitlin Clark things. She won it for the third time in a row. I'm not gonna just go through all her accolades because you all know Caitlin Clark. You all know what she's been doing all season. So yeah, she won it one more time because why not? why not? Let's take a look at the other award winners for the Big Ten. So we have Celeste Taylor, who won the Defensive Player of the Year. Celeste Taylor, in terms of offense, I mean, she hasn't done a like ton for the most part. Ohio State is like really about J.C. Sheldon and for offense, but Celeste Taylor can get you on defense. She is one of the best defending guards in the country. Absolutely deserve that honor. We have Natalie Potts from Nebraska, who won the Freshman of the Year award. We have Halleck, who won the Sixth Player of the Year. To be quite honest with you, I am not too familiar with Halleck, so yeah. My apologies on that front. I watched some Michigan State games, but I didn't watch a ton to really know who she is as a player. But Coach of the Year went to Kevin McGuff because why not? Ohio State is the number one team in the Big Ten. When you look at Ohio State as a program, they can ball. They can absolutely ball. I know there's conversation about like, okay, well, yeah, sure, they're number one in the conference, but who actually is the best team in the conference? In my opinion, I do think that Kevin, is coaching the best team in the conference, but I think it's here or there on who is actually better. Is it Ohio State? Is it Iowa? Who knows? But yeah, Iowa has won one award. They won one award for the Big Ten. I will say though, there's some talk about Sydney Falter. Yeah, Aaron says other than Sydney Falter not getting Sixth Player of the Year, I think this list is mostly spot on. So yeah, I really like the fact that Sydney Falter has been doing her thing for Iowa. I think she has been phenomenal and absolutely has been a key player off the bench for Iowa. Now, in terms of who should have won the Sixth Player of the Year award, personally, I will stay out of this one. Because I did not watch a ton of Michigan State games to really be able to compare Halleck with a Falter. Like I watched some, but I don't. I only really like to comment if I know the player and I've watched a ton of games for the player. So for this one, Sydney Falter is phenomenal. I think she has been really doing her thing for Iowa and has really become a key piece to this team. But whether or not she deserves the Sixth Player of the Year award, I don't know. I think I would defer to somebody who's a lot more versed in what Michigan State has done this season. I would say someone who's more versed in what they've done. So I personally will not comment on that. Though I will say Sydney Falter is great. Let's see. Are we moving on? What are we doing? Okay. Let's move on to the Big Ten first team because, of course, we got to talk about it. So, not too surprising of the people who made the list. You have Caitlin, JC McKenzie, Alexis, Murkowski, Cody McMahon, Layla Falia, Sarah Williams, Cheyenne Sellers, Julia Ariat, and Sarah Scalia. Not too surprised about that. I have no issues with that on. I have no issues with that. All right, so now here's one thing I do have to say to you all. I did not have I did not have a ton of time to pull together all of the conference winners and grab all of the photos and whatnot and really put it together. So what I wanted to do instead was first, let's talk about the ACC, then we'll move on to the Big 12. And the Big 12 will largely be no graphics because I don't have that I didn't have that all set to go. All right, so moving on to the ACC. The ACC Player of the Year is Elizabeth Kitley with Virginia Tech. So Elizabeth Kitley has been absolutely balling for Virginia Tech. She did get hurt, so we're still waiting to hear what's going to happen with Elizabeth Kitley in the future. Will she be able to return for the rest of the season? I don't know. She had a really awkward injury this past weekend, so we don't know. But in terms of play this season, Elizabeth Kitley has been dominant for Virginia Tech, and she is the reason why Virginia Tech has been, top of the league. When you look at a player like Elizabeth Kitley, yes, not only can she play on offense, on defense she's not that bad. Like on defense she's pretty good. And she's a player who can run the pick and roll. She's a player who has that like classic fadeaway shot. Like y'all, I don't know if y'all watch Elizabeth Kitley play, but she has a signature fadeaway shot that she just goes to all the time, and it looks so crispy. And it's just, it's fun to see Elizabeth Kitley play. Again, we don't know when she will be back or if she will be back for the season. This is the she is the third. This is her third time getting this award, so that's something to note as well. In terms of whether or not she should have been the Player of the Year, hold on, I gotta read this. You don't like the fadeaway, K.A.? You don't like the fadeaway? What's wrong with the fadeaway? It's a nice fadeaway. It's a nice fadeaway. I'm just saying, no one can stop it. No one can stop the fadeaway. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, when someone stops it, I mean, call me when someone stops it. Until she gets to the WNBA, it's going to be an automatic shot for her. Bear says just be physical with Kitley. Yeah. I mean, that's why she goes with the fadeaway. That's why she wants to get away from the contact, which makes sense. And if you're gonna hit the shot, if you're gonna hit the shot, then okay, what we talking about here? So yeah, Elizabeth Kitley did win the Player of the Year award. Now here's the thing about that. So yes, Kitley is great. However, I think that this award should have gone to Hannah Hidalgo. Now, let's talk about why I say that. Because similarly to Cameron Brink in the argument for her getting the Player of the Year award for the Pac-12 is the fact that she plays both offense and defense at an elite level. And to me, that is why, in my opinion, I think that Hannah Hidalgo should have been the Player of the Year. Because it's not just the fact that she's number 3 in the country in scoring. In the country, actually, again, in scoring. I made a separate video about Hannah Hidalgo, so y'all can look at that if y'all want to, whatever. Not only is she a great offensive player, but she's a great defensive player. And I don't see Elizabeth Kitley having the same impact on the offensive and defensive end. I just don't see it. You know, when you look at another player you can look at for ACC Player of the Year, the person that was in contention was Deasia Fair. Deasia Fair also has been really good this year as well. But again, you know, I think if you look at Deasia Fair, you look at Elizabeth Kitley, you look at Hannah Hidalgo, out of those three elite players in the ACC, one name rises above the others, and that's Hannah Hidalgo, in my opinion. And again, she's short and doing all this stuff. So to me, I think that sort of, to me, that puts her over the finish line. And to me, that is why she should have been the ACC Player of the Year. She wasn't, but she should have been. So yeah, that is my take. I would love to hear what y'all have to say about that, because yeah, that's sort of my take about that. Now, when we look at some of the other things with the Pac-12, actually, let's look at what y'all got to say in the comments about this. Let's see what y'all got to say. All right, so Nicholas says, I don't know, Virginia Tech looks absolutely lost without Kitley. Yeah, I mean, sure, they do. I mean, but also, so does Notre Dame to an extent when Hannah Hidalgo isn't on the court. Carmela says, Hannah got robbed. Wesley says, Hannah is fearless. Rob says, flowers to Georgia Amore. She plays second fiddle to Kitley, but she is balling. Yeah, she is balling. Georgia Amore is a straight up baller. Straight up baller. So yes, absolutely agree with that sentiment. Totally. Now let's take a look at the other award winners for the ACC, because it wasn't just this. We had some other winners as well. So I do want to talk about the rest of the teams. And again, sorry guys, I was not able to make graphics for all of these. So, sorry about that. But let's get into it. All right, so let's look at the rest of the award winners for the ACC. So again, as we said, for the Player of the Year, we have Elizabeth Kitley. For the Defensive Player of the Year, of course, it had to go to Hannah Hidalgo, because Hannah Hidalgo, I always say Hannah Hidalgo. Hannah Hidalgo has been just amazing when it comes to just being extremely ball focused. And like, if she don't have the ball, she's trying to get the ball. She's trying to steal. She's getting a bunch of steals a game, leading the nation in that standpoint. Yeah, she's just been great. So Defensive Player of the Year goes to Hannah Hidalgo. She of course deserves that. Also, Rookie of the Year, aka Freshman of the Year, goes to Hannah Hidalgo as well. Makes sense. Coach of the year, a coach that I have been extremely impressed with is Felicia Leggett-Jack of Syracuse. I talked about her before in a previous stream about how I think that she really does need to get some shine as a serious candidate for National Coach of the Year, because she has really done a masterful job at Syracuse. Like it really is cool to see how she has transformed that program. I'm gonna pronounce the Duke player name wrong, and I am so sorry about that. So I am not even gonna try. She won 6th Player of the Year, and most improved player goes to Latu King. All right, so yeah, that's the winners for the ACC. Now, when we look at the other winners for the ACC, we have a thing. One of the things that the ACC does is they actually show us how many votes certain players got. And so just in case you all are interested, I'll show that to you. So here we go. You can see that right here. So we have most improved player of the year. You can see like the way the votes went down. And when we look at, you can see the same thing for 6th Player of the Year, and you see the same thing for the Coach of the Year. Kenny Brooks, also could have absolutely deserved that Coach of the Year thing, but to me, I give the edge. To me, I give the edge to Felicia Leggett-Jack and what she's been doing at Syracuse. All right, guys, that is those are the prepared graphics that I had all ready to go. Now, I do want to walk through some of the other awards real quick to just sort of let you all know what's going on with those. So when we look at the Big 12, one thing that we had, which I would have loved to see for both the ACC and the Pac-12, is the fact that we had co-players of the year. So Skylar Vann with Oklahoma and Madison Booker with Texas. They both won the Player of the Year award. They were co-players of the year, Skylar and Madison. So yeah, both have been really, really phenomenal. Oklahoma has just been crazy good this season. Also, Oklahoma's head coach won the Coach of the Year. Makes sense. You had Peyton Verhulst, who won the Newcomer of the Year award. We had Deanna Gatson, who won the 6th Player of the Year award. And we had West Virginia's JJ Kennerly, who won the Defensive Player of the Year award. Now, yeah, that's who won that. Now there are other awards that are happening for other conferences, but those are the conferences that I specifically want to talk about. Those are like some of the bigger conferences for women's college basketball that I wanted to just sort of talk about a little bit. But guys, I do want to hear what you all have to say about the awards. Let me know. Are you upset by any of the awards, like who won, and you're like, hey, they shouldn't have won or whatever? Let me know. This is your time to share your thoughts on what happened today with the awards. Wesley said Hidalgo and Kitley different positions. Yeah, different positions. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, they do one Player of the Year award. They don't do one for guards, Player of the Year for guards, Player of the Year for post players. They do one. And so, yes, it's apples and oranges in a way, comparing a guard to a post player. But, I mean, you got to do it. You have to do it, Bob says, I would say Ayoka Lee means more to her team than any other Big 12 player. K-State was a wreck without her. Yeah, but I think the fact that she missed several games, I think that hurt her ability to win awards. So yeah, I would say that's I would say that hurt her ability. Though she was on the All Big 12 first team. Ayoka Lee was on the All Big 12 first team, but I think her ability to win any of those sort of individual awards, it's because she was out. So, it's hard to give that to someone who missed a good amount of conference games. Kimura says they're just ready for the draft and see who gets the natty. Yeah, I mean, very much interested in that. Yeah, Wesley. Big foe, Flau'jae Johnson, defensive second team. Like Flau'jae Johnson has been really, really good defensively. Really, really good for LSU. Yeah. Do you think she should have got first team? Bear Down says Neo Ivy in Notre Dame recruits from the New Jersey pipeline mostly. Yeah, I mean, Hannah's a Jersey kid, right? Hannah is a Jersey kid, and she's been balling. Hannah with the hoops. Edward said the SEC was very disrespectful with their awards. How was Watkins on the all defensive team and the number one team with one player? What? I don't know what you mean. All right. KA says, I saw folks getting upset that Audie Crooks didn't win the freshman of the year over. I mean, why would they be mad about that? Madison Booker won co-player of the year. How could she lose? How could she lose to for the freshman of the year? I don't know. Crooks is great though. Crooks is absolutely fantastic for Iowa State. But I mean, I don't know how she could have got it over Madison Booker. I don't know. Because the thing you have to realize about Madison Booker or the people who are saying that Crooks should have won it over her, is that Booker is a player that had to move to a different role midway through the season. So I think to me and she was successful at it and still is successful at it. I think that is something that is absolutely huge and to me continues to give her an edge. Let's see what y'all got to say. Richard says Elizabeth Kidley's field goal percentage is far greater than Hannah Hidalgo. Kidley rebounding is more. She averaged a double-double. Her block shots was over 2+. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Elizabeth Kidley's great. Absolutely. But I still think that that Hannah Hidalgo should have been co or something for player of the year because she has been balling. Because you can look at the assists. You can look at the assists that Hannah gets per game. You can look at the steals that Hannah gets per game. You can look at her rebounding that she gets per game. Of course, Kidley is rebounding more. She has more rebounds per game than Hannah, but also Hannah's like 5'6", 5'7", and a guard. So I mean, to me, it's more impressive when a guard does certain stuff than when a post player who should be doing that stuff does it. Why is this comment so small? JB says, not really upset by any of these awards, but I do think Juju not winning Pac-12 Player of the Year was my biggest shocker. Brink was obviously a superb player, though. SEC Freshman of the Year was also what? Wait, do you mean Freshman Player of the Year or just Player of the Year? Was also one I wasn't sure who would win. Yeah. I mean, I think to me, that's the beauty of what we see with the postseason awards. This is a time for us to give shine to players. But also, when that happens, there's going to be people who are like, hey, this person should have got it instead or whatever. And to me, I think that's all great. That's all great because it's all just bringing more conversation about the game. Because the reason why they do awards, yes, is to, celebrate the players. But also they do it because it's another way to grab the fans and to get the fans talking about something, and that sparks additional interest, which in turn helps for, more people to watch games. It helps for internet searchability. So like it all is done for a reason. So I think in terms of us talking about, and in terms of us sort of talking about how these awards went down and how maybe we don't like certain ones, certain winners or whatever. To me, all in all, this just continues to help grow the game of women's basketball. The fact that we're even having this conversation, about players getting snubbed and whatnot, and there's how many people are on the stream? It's showing like 400 people on the stream talking about this right now. To me, it just continues to show the growth of women's basketball, and I love it. Also, guys, if y'all are in this chat, please hit that like button. That would be phenomenal. That really helps more people find the stream as we're live. So please hit that like button. We got like 400 people in here. If we can get to 200 likes, that would be really, really great. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I make content all about women's basketball. Like, this is all I do. All I do is talk about, well, I have an actual job, but like on the internet, this is all I do is I talk about women's basketball. This is all this channel is all about. So if y'all love that, please subscribe to the channel. We are on our road to 10,000 subscribers. The goal is to hit that before the NCAA tournament starts. So I don't know if that's possible, but if y'all want to help me out, please do that by hitting that like button. That would be great. Thank you. Oh, thanks so much, Carmela. Carmela says, Quita, thanks for your insight and being so consistent. I really appreciate your channel. I hope your channel keeps growing. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. I really do. I really, really do. Officer Davis says, Gilbert Arenas and Shannon Sharp gave props to women's college basketball last night. So it's really growing and bringing the attention. Yeah, I love it. I saw they talked about it, but I didn't actually hear what they said. But yeah, the fact that there are so many people who rock with women's basketball now, and it's now becoming cool a little bit for some of the top commentators, sports commentators, to talk about women's basketball. Like, it is just great. It is absolutely great. Burger says, I watch your videos all the time and I don't even watch basketball. Really? What do you get out of it if you don't watch it? I appreciate you rocking with us. Appreciate you being an awesome person on the internet. But let me know. Give me some insight, Burger. What makes you watch the videos even though you don't watch basketball? I'm just curious about like the narratives that's going on for women's basketball. Like, what's let me know. Let me know. Danta says, I'm new to watching, and because of you, I'm always informed. Oh, that's great. Thank you. Nola says, sports anchors are made to praise Caitlin Clark. Now, I wouldn't say made to. Encouraged to, probably. Now here's the thing. Now I'm gonna say something that I don't know. Maybe y'all gonna get very upset at me or whatever. Let me talk about it. So Caitlin Clark has done some amazing things for women's for women's college basketball or women's basketball period. When you look at the amount of notoriety she has gotten, the amount of fan support that she's gotten, the fact that she has sold out just about everything, she's so, basically almost every game this season has been sold out for Iowa. They recently announced it. Hold on, let me pull up I saw a graphic that I want to pull up that I thought was pretty amazing. The fact that I think it was like 3 million people watched the Ohio State and it was the Ohio State and the and Iowa game this past weekend. It was like 3.3 million people who watched that. And I think that these are the things that continue to help grow the game of women's basketball. The fact that Caitlin Clark she's the face of it, whether or not you like it or not. And I understand people who get very upset about it. But it just is what it is. Caitlin Clark is drawing a ton of people to the game of women's basketball. And because of that, I feel that when news people, I feel like they have to talk about her, because she's a name that people recognize, right? When you put Caitlin, it's like clickbait in a way. You put Caitlin Clark name on something and it gets a ton of views, right? And so if you are a news company, you're going to that's the only person you're going to talk about, because you're like, oh, my audience probably doesn't know any of these other people, and this is a player that I could talk about. Everyone seems to know who this player is, and they're popular, right? So I think anchors don't have to talk about her. I think they are highly encouraged to, because the fan support is already there and already behind this player. Now, what I will say is, from a strategy standpoint, it's not that smart. I would say it's not that smart to only focus on Caitlin Clark, because yes, Caitlin Clark is great, phenomenal. Absolutely. One of the best players that I've seen play college basketball in a very, very long time. However, she's gone next year. And when you bank everything around one player for women's college basketball, I think you ultimately do a disservice to the game, because they graduate, they leave, they move on. And then what are you left with? A hole of fans who are like, I love that player. All I knew was that player. That was the only player y'all ever talked about. And now I'm out. Now I don't care anymore. And I think that's a disservice that happens to the game of women's basketball. And I think that, when you see folks, that's all they do. All they do is talk about Caitlin Clark, and that's great. Caitlin is great. But also, when you're talking about Caitlin Clark, can we talk about what Hannah Hidalgo is doing? Can we talk about what Juju Watkins is doing? Can we talk about what Madison Booker is doing? Can we talk about what Elizabeth Kitley is doing? Georgia Amore is doing? There are so many more narratives for women's college basketball that you can talk about, and it shouldn't just be focused just on one thing, because she's gone next year. And now what are you going to do? Now what are you going to do now? It's just, you're messed up. You're messed up now because you put all of your eggs in the Caitlin Clark basket, thinking that Caitlin Clark was going to return next season and you were going to make a whole bunch of money because you just got 3.2 million people to watch her over the weekend, right? You just sold out all these games, and you're like, oh, she's going to be back next year, and we're gonna make even more money. You got this all-star thing that just popped up, right? Because they're like, oh, we're gonna make some money. She may not make it to the Final Four, so we're gonna see if she can be in this tournament. Okay, but what happens? What happens next year? Next year is gonna come. Are we gonna see an ASAP Rocky at an Iowa game, or at a USC game or something like that? Are we gonna see top entertainers and athletes and whatnot talking about Caitlin Clark? Are we going to see that? Are we going to be at the Super Bowl and hear about Patrick Mahomes talking about a women's college basketball player next year? Probably not. Because all the eggs were in the Caitlin Clark basket, and Caitlin Clark is phenomenal. This is not a bash against her at all. But to me, it's more of a +1, right? Yes, talk about Caitlin. Plus, talk about something else. Talk about something else, because it's not just Caitlin. The game does not live and die by Caitlin Clark. She's gone next season. She's going to be in the WNBA, and it's great. She's going to bring a lot of eyeballs to the WNBA, and that's awesome. But what about college basketball next year? Like there's not that many players that people know about, the average random American knows about, besides Caitlin. They don't know Juju. They know Angel Reese. Yes, they know Angel Reese. But what if she leaves next year too? I mean, what if she leaves at the end of the season? Now you have the two biggest names in women's college basketball, in Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, gone. And now what you doing? What you doing? Is Iowa fans going to show up next year? Are they going to pack out Carver Hawkeye Arena? Are they going to pack that out? For LSU, are we going to continue to see huge attendance when they go on the road? Or I'm sorry, it was Travis Scott, not ASAP Rocky. Anyway, I don't really listen to like that type of music like that. So I got my people confused. Yes, it was Travis Scott, not ASAP Rocky. But anyway, my point stands. The fact that we need more narratives for women's basketball. We need more names being said. Yes, Caitlin, talk about her. But let's talk about Juju. Let's talk about Hannah. Because these players are going to be in college basketball for longer, right? Next season, again, remember, next season, Juju and Hannah are going to be sophomores. So let's hype them up. Let's hype Flau'jae Johnson up. Flau'jae Johnson is a sophomore this year. Next year, she's going to be a junior. Let's hype her up. Let's continue to hype Anissa Morrow up. Let's continue to hype Raven Johnson up. Let's continue to hype Mylasia Fulwiley up. There are so many players that we need to be, continue to talk about, because the narratives of it being just about Caitlin Clark, and most of the time people spell her name wrong all the time. It's always Caitlin with the Y, and I'm like, why you got the Y? And it's Caitlin Clark. Why you need a Y for? Like, I'm just saying, I'm just saying. But yeah, I'm sorry guys for this rant. I'm so sorry, but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. Shout out to that dude right there. Dude, I love that name. I love that name, that dude right there. So that dude right there gave a super chat. Appreciate you for that. Says, Quita, thank you so much for what you're doing for the women's college game through your channel. That preview that you did for the upcoming conference tournaments was fantastic. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Y'all, for that video yesterday, I think I spent 7.5 hours on that video. The one I put out yesterday. I took off yesterday and today from work, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna crank out a bunch of videos and whatnot, and I'm gonna really do this, and really help to prepare myself for the rest of the tournament. And y'all, I was like, oh, I have a great idea. I woke up, great idea. I'm gonna talk about the conference tournaments, and I'm not just gonna talk about one. I'm not gonna talk about just the Power Five. I'm gonna talk about all of them, because no one's doing it. And I was like, okay, great. So I started working on it, and like 4 hours later, still not done. And I was just like, oh my God, this is taking all day. So yeah, that took so much time. That took so much time. So I appreciate the fact that you appreciate that effort. Because that was a lot, man. That was a lot. Bear Down says when Clark leaves, the media will hyper focus on Beckers or Juju. You might be right. Bear Down. And again, I think Paige is only in for another year. So yeah, sure talk about Paige. But again, it's a talk about this player and let's talk about another player who's preferably younger than that player, because you're sort of building awareness in people's minds about this other player who exists out there. So that way, when the first player that you're talking about leaves, now you have this other player that people know about, right? I hope that they sure talk about Paige Beckers. Absolutely, that's fine. Paige Beckers is great, but also talk about the younger players as well. Thank you so much, Michael, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Kyra says Anissa Morrow don't need the hype. She is the hype. Yeah, I mean, y'all know how much of an Anissa Morrow fan I am. I am like Anissa Morrow's great, phenomenal. I think she she was in the running for SEC Player of the Year. She has been really, really great for LSU, and even before she went to LSU, like I've been rocking with Anissa Morrow since from afar. Of course, I don't actually know her, but I've been rocking with her since she was at DePaul, watching her games and just being like, man, this girl is good. And wasn't nobody paying attention to her. She was doing her thing with double doubles and like all this stuff, and she was doing great stuff, but like nobody was really checking for her. But now that she's on a bigger scale, I feel like people are actually witnessing the greatness of Anissa Morrow. And it's sad that she had to leave DePaul to do that, but I get it. I get it. Oliver Davis says Shannon Sharp called Beckers breakers. He said, what did he say? Page breakers? That's funny. Vic says, smash the like button, y'all. It is free, y'all. It is free. It is free to hit that like button. It is free. So please, please, please smash that like button. That'd be fantastic. Aaron says, I think the hyper focus with Caitlin Clark was because of the record she was breaking. Yes, absolutely. Yes. And she deserves focus for that. Absolutely deserves focus for that. But again, I still think it's a talk about that player, focus on that player. Keep the Caitlin cam. Whatever. Keep the Caitlin cam, but also zoom out and show some of the other players on Iowa. Show what Hannah Stokey is doing at Iowa. Show Sydney Falter and what she's doing at Iowa. Show Feuerbach and what she's doing at Iowa. Show other players, not just Caitlin. And I can guarantee you, Caitlin don't want all the attention for herself. She wants the game to grow. And so the only way the game is going to grow is if you talk about the whole, of the thing instead of just one player. It's different. When Caitlin goes to the WNBA, to me, I think that's different because there's no graduation, right? The WNBA is the final front line. That's the final. That's the end goal, right? It's similar to when LeBron went to the NBA, and all the attention was on LeBron James, rightly so. LeBron James went from high school extremely dominant, number one pick in the NBA draft, went to Cleveland and just set his city on fire. He was really, really good for Cleveland. And the narrative was just LeBron, like for years. And to me, that's fine because there was no sort of next step. If LeBron was in college for 4 years and the whole narrative of while he was in college was just all about LeBron and nobody else, then I'll be like, oh, no, don't do that because, what happens when you leave? But, I mean, LeBron's been in the game for forever. it seems like. Just scored his 40,000th point. So shout out to LeBron James. He's like absolutely dominant. So to me, in the WNBA, if people want to just talk about Caitlin Clark or whatever, I'm more or less okay with it because there is no sort of a next tier for her to go. It is the WNBA is the end goal, right? But when you're talking about college, you're always cycling in players, and players are always leaving. So you have to always think about that when we're talking about the growth of women's college basketball, because these players are not going to stay. So that's something that I think is different about. I think that's something that's different about the college game versus the professional game. So yeah. Hopefully that made sense, guys. Hopefully, let me know in the chat if my argument makes sense. Sometimes, like when I verbalize stuff, sometimes I'm not quite sure if people like understand what I'm saying because I don't always like word stuff the way it's in my head. So I don't know. Officer Davis says, I wish Caitlin Clark went to a bigger market, but Indiana going to be selling out for a while. Yeah. So I heard from some fans who have some season ticket holders for Indiana, who are excited about the fact that they got their season tickets before Caitlin announced that. And then I also heard from some I think it's like 5-day like you can buy like five game tickets for Indiana, and how those players or those fans who got those tickets are likely going to get bumped up to the next level because they are selling out a lot of season tickets, which is great, absolutely great. So yeah. I think she's going to really help Indiana. So I'm happy about that. I really am. Indiana is a team that has been trashed for too long. They've been trashed for far too long, and they need a resurgence, right? Do y'all remember the Tamika Catchings days? Do y'all remember how great Indiana was? I mean, Indiana was never like where they had like the top talent, but they had Tamika Catchings, who was just like one of the best players, one of the best women's basketball players ever in the WNBA, and how she just had a motor that just wouldn't stop. And she willed her team to win a WNBA championship. She willed her team to be successful. And then after she left, nobody wanted to go to Indiana, and no stars wanted to go to Indiana, I should say. And they just whittled down to nothing. Then they got Nalissa Smith. Then they got Aaliyah Boston. Now they're going to get Caitlin Clark. They already got Kelsey Mitchell. They're building something now, and so I am very much happy for Indiana. They absolutely deserve to sell out games. They deserve it all because they have those fans, the true Indiana fans that have been rocking with this team, even though they've been trash. Those true fans, I am so happy for y'all. Y'all deserve it. Y'all deserve it. Renee says, love your channel and watch everything you post. You do a fantastic job, and you have made me love women's basketball even more. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Renee. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're falling more in love with women's basketball because it's like the best. It's like the best sport in my opinion. It's the best sport. Ghost Ham says Clark is going to lose her cool more in the WNBA when they play tough. I mean, yeah, she'll get used to it. She'll get used to it. Yeah. I think she'll get used to it. But yeah, she's not gonna be like dominant the way she is now. She's not gonna be the MVP of the WNBA. She's going to be probably the rookie of the year in my opinion. But yeah, she's not gonna be as dominant, and yeah, she's gonna get frustrated. She's going to get frustrated. So it'll be interesting to see if Maya Moore helps her out in her adjustment of the league. That would be kind of cool since she's Maya Moore was her idol and she got a chance to meet her this past weekend. So yeah, it would be kind of cool for players to sort of bring her and other rookies coming in under their wing to just show them how tough the WNBA is and how they're gonna knock you around. And you can't just be complaining all the time. So I mean, you can. Like, Marina Mabrey complains all the time. And, you know, shout out to Marina Mabrey. She's a Chicago Sky player. So, like, I rock with Marina Mabrey, but she complains a lot. You know, there's a lot of, Candace Parker complains a lot. There's a lot of players who complain a lot in the WNBA. Lil says, why don't I get notifications? Is your do you get notifications on your phone for YouTube? I know there are some people who subscribe to the channel, they turn on the bell notifications, but they don't have YouTube notifications turned on their phone, so that's why they don't see it. So I don't know if that's your thing or not. Okay, great. I'm glad my points made sense. JB says, only the real ones know about pre-LSU Anissa Morrow. She was a dog and gave programs like UConn fits. Facts, man. Facts. Yeah, facts. Sub-Zero says, quality of your arguments are clear. Some points I don't agree with, like Caitlin Clark, LeBron James. Okay, fair enough. Yes, Nola, she's going to be a starter. Yes, in my opinion. Maybe she doesn't start the first couple of games, but I think by the time we hit mid-season for the WNBA season this upcoming year, she's going to be a starter. Maybe not the first 2 or 3 games, but she will be a starter when it's all said and done next season. Ghost Ham says, I wish they'd show more love to South Carolina native Pearl Moore, who scored 4,000 plus points without a 3-point line. Caitlin Clark had almost 500 3-point attempts this season. So, yeah, the thing about, you know, and shout out to Pearl Moore, but the thing about Pearl Moore is the fact that I think that, one, she was very talented in her day. Absolutely. She was enshrined in the women's the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2021. She played in the AIAW for Francis Marion. She also played for a junior college for a little bit. She was great, absolutely great. However, Francis Marion is, I believe, a D2, if not a D3 team. And they were back when she played with them. So I think that's why they don't talk about Pearl Moore. Like, Pearl Moore was great. However, we don't really talk about D2 or D3 accomplishments ever, really. Like, it's just a thing. Like, I think, sure, absolutely. If you want to talk about Pearl Moore, that's great. But also, the reason why no one really, I've mentioned her a couple times on the channel, but like the reason why the reason why people don't go really, really in depth about it is because she played for Francis Marion, which is a D2. I believe it's D2. If not, it's a D3 team. Like, you're not gonna see people talking about those schools. You're not gonna see it because why? Like, I'm sure there's a lot of players right now on the D2 or D3 level who are scoring a bunch of points. And maybe I'll do a future episode of Women's College Basketball Weekly or about it. I'll do a future episode about it because I know for sure there has to be more players who are averaging more points than Hannah Hidalgo at the D2, maybe D3 level. But we don't talk about it because it's not the same thing, right? For the most part, when we talk about women's college basketball, we're talking about D1. When we talk about men's college basketball, we're talking about D1. So I think that's the difference. You know, Lynette Woodard gets her shine because Lynette Woodard played for a D1 school. So she gets shine and she absolutely deserves that shine. But I think that's why Pearl Moore doesn't get talked about as much because she did play on a D2 school. So that's the difference. That is the difference. But yes, she was balling in her time. absolutely balling in her time. And yeah, it was before the 3-point line. So DizFan 9212 says, I would love to see Caitlin Clark with the Fever. Can you imagine the assists she would have between her and Boston? The Fever management knows what they're doing. Yeah. And I did like the fact that the Fever, they were shouting out Caitlin Clark and whatnot because they know they have a baller coming in. And I think even if Caitlin gets shut down in terms of scoring, where she's not that effective scoring wise, she's going to get those. She's going to get those assists. Like I can't wait to see her be able to get the ball to Aaliyah Boston, get the ball to Nalissa Smith. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be absolutely fun to watch. So yeah. Let's see. There's some talk about Malaysia Fulwiley. Bando says Malaysia Fulwiley does things other college athletes can't. Let's not forget Michaela Williams is the reason LSU lost to South Carolina. I mean, I think that Malaysia Fulwiley is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And she is the future of South Carolina women's basketball. And especially her coming off the bench is just crazy because we know, if you don't know, now you know, Tahina Paopao is returning to South Carolina next season. She has decided to return. I made a video about it. It also includes a produced video that someone from South Carolina made. It looks pretty awesome. There was some acting. Don Staley did some acting, having a surprise call from Tahina Paopao's dad. I thought it was a fantastic video. I really liked it. But when you look at a team like South Carolina, Malaysia Fulwiley, as long as she is okay with coming off the bench, they're going to be tough next year because you have Tahina Paopao, who is still going to be the starting. You're going to have Raven Johnson. You're going to have Tahina Paopao. Malaysia Fulwiley is coming off the bench. And, it's going to be, they're just a good team. They're just a good team. What up, Paris? Paris says, awesome people of the internet. What is up, awesome people of the internet? I hope y'all are having a fantastic day. If y'all just joined, we actually wrapped up our conversation about the postseason awards. We talked about that. And now it's just a grab bag of whatever y'all want to talk about. We'll talk about it. I did a brief little rant. But yeah. Let's see what y'all got to say. High Vibration says they did Watkins dirty. She wanted that 6th Woman of the Year award. Yeah, I mean, yeah, she wanted it. Absolutely. But unfortunately, she wasn't able to get it. So to remind folks, you had Leilani Correa, who won the 6th Woman of the Year award for the SEC. So that is the winner for the SEC. She has been balling this year for Florida. Absolutely has been balling. And so has Ashlyn Watkins. So I could have absolutely seen an instance where Ashlyn won the award, but she didn't get it. But yeah, she absolutely wanted it. And I believe she said it, or at least Don Staley said it publicly that Watkins wanted that 6th Woman of the Year award. But you don't always get the accolades that you believe you deserve. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Ghost Ham says, let's go add Sarah Strong too. We already have Joyce Edwards coming in. Yeah. So here's the thing that I think, South Carolina is going to have to contend with, is the fact that they're you have a player like Joyce Edwards coming in. You have Adele Tack, who's already there. And I believe she actually won a academic award already in her first semester, which is kind of cool. You have possibly Sarah Strong, though maybe not. But the point I'm trying to make is that South Carolina is very, very talented. But I think eventually they're going to start to run into some issues, because when you have top freshmen coming in, and you also have players who have already paved their dues, you run into issues where people are like, I want to play. Not only do I want to play, I want to start. So that's something that Dawn is going to have to contend with, and she has been contending with it. And I think she's doing a good job at sort of setting expectations. But eventually, it's going to become more of an issue, in my opinion. Shout out to DizFan9212, who says, where do you see Hailey Van Lith as far as her draft stock? So for this year, if she enters the 2024 WNBA draft, I'm seeing her as like a late first round pick. Yeah, I'm seeing her as a late first round pick. I think the tough part about the WNBA right now is that most of the draft picks will be cut from their team. And I think players have to be very, very smart and strategic about, is this the right time to go in the WNBA draft? Because you're going to have 12 spots open up for the WNBA next season in 2025. Do you enter the draft in 2024 and risk not making a team? Yeah, sure, you may not make a team in 2025 either, but I feel like you have more of a chance than you do right now. This is not me saying that Hailey Van Lith would get cut if she entered the draft, but I'm just stating the reality that most of these players who get drafted, and they're so happy on draft day, so ecstatic, the family is there and they're smiling and all that stuff, they take a picture with the commissioner. It's all fun and great. Everyone's happy. And then training camp starts. And then players get cut. And then, they're not happy. They're upset. And then they have to go overseas and try to figure something out. I think that that's something that players have to contend with when you want to go to the WNBA, because I think I could absolutely see a situation where Hailey Van Lith is critical for a WNBA team. I could see her eventually moving into sort of like an Allie Quigley type lane of a player who, sure, maybe starts sometimes, but for the most part comes off the bench and comes in and shoots. That's what they do. They come in the game and they shoot the ball. But it took Allie Quigley a long time to be able to solidify herself with the team. She was cut from a couple teams, moved around the league for a while, eventually settled with the Chicago Sky, and really, really made a name for herself with the Chicago Sky, but primarily as a sixth woman. So I could see that possibly being the end game for Hailey Van Lith. But you have to get to the right team, and you have to have a team that is patient with you and willing to work with you. And I think that, if she gets drafted, she's going to be a late first round pick. But it's crucial for players to really, really think about, should I enter right now or should I wait? All right, let's see what else y'all got to say. Also, thank y'all so much for joining. If y'all get that like button, that would be fantastic. We are on our road to 200 likes in this chat. So if y'all can, please hit that like button. The tournament games, conference tournament games start tomorrow. It's going to be a huge deal, guys. So lots of conference games to be watching in the future. We have the Pac-12, we have the SEC, we have the Big 12, we have the Big 10. Lots of leagues. We have the Ivy League, a league that the Ivy League tournament, which I'm I'm a huge fan of the Ivy League. I'm just like, I feel like I've talked about it a couple times, but I'm a huge fan of the Ivy League because they like, they smart, but they can play basketball. they can play some basketball. So yeah, lots of tournament games coming up soon. I will be trying my best to keep you all well informed about what's going on. I may not be able to go live tomorrow. Actually, I likely won't be able to go live tomorrow, but I will be making sure to make videos and then posting on my communities tab to keep you all informed on what's happening. Christian says, any update on Keely? I don't have an update. No, I have not seen an update yet. So if someone's seen an update, let me know. I haven't seen one. Shout out to that dude right there. Again, I love your name. I love your name. They say, with Hannah Hidalgo balling out, what do you think happens at the point guard position for Notre Dame when Olivia Miles returns healthy next season? Well, I think that Olivia Miles is the point guard. And Hannah Hidalgo is a shooting guard. I think that's probably what they're going to do. Neil Ivy is probably going to start off with that. And see how it goes. Now, I'm not completely sure how much Hannah Hidalgo will be able to continue to do what she's doing right now as a shooting guard and not sort of having the ball in her hands and sort of controlling the flow of the game. To me, that is something that I'm wondering about. But in terms of what I think they'll do, I think Neil Ivy will have... likely have Olivia Miles as the starting point guard, Hannah at the starting shooting guard position, and then just see how it works. Just throw them out there, see how it works, and then make adjustments. If Hannah's game completely suffers, then yeah, put in Olivia Miles as the shooting guard, because I think Olivia Miles could be a shooting guard. She could make that adjustment. And yes, Hannah can shoot, absolutely. But also, to me, she's a player who just seems to play better when she's calling the plays, when she has the ball, when she's sort of making decisions on the fly. And that's something that you don't really get to do as a shooting guard. You're more like reactive to what the point guard decides to do. And so that, to me, that's going to be something that's going to be really, really interesting to see next season. Bando says, y'all said LSU would beat South Carolina last time. When we beat y'all again, you're going to say that we're going to lose in the tournament. Oh, man. High Vibration says, if Camilla comes back to South Carolina, Sarah Strong would not come to South Carolina. That would be a headache trying to juggle all that playing time. Yeah, that would be kind of tough. That would be kind of tough. And I wonder, could that be why Sarah Strong is waiting to decide on what she wants to do? Possibly. Lil says, if Watkins was robbed, it was by the SEC coaches. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because they have votes. They have votes in it. Vic says South Carolina is going to have a massive chip on their shoulder going into these tournaments. Yeah, because, you have people saying, yeah, sure, they were, number one this year, but they were also number one last year and they lost. So yeah, I think there's a lot of people still saying that. And so yeah, I do think South Carolina is going to come with a chip on their shoulder saying that, yes, we're the best. However, y'all keep saying we about to lose. So we going to show y'all that we're not about to lose, So I think that's they might have a chip on their shoulder with that. Let's see. Wesley says Sarah Shong started on LSU. Lil, they can. Yeah, Lil says, can they put Caitlin on the Olympic team? They can. I don't think any WNBA rookie should be on the Olympic team, especially if they're coming from college. Only because the WNBA is just such a harder league to be in, and I think it's just a lot of wear and tear on your body. And then at the Olympics, on top of that, she can be on the Olympic team. And knowing USA basketball, they might put her on the team. They likely probably will put her on the team. I think to me, it's an injury risk. Sure, is she good enough to be on the Olympic team? I say sure. Yeah, she's sure. Yeah, she could absolutely be on the Olympic team. But in her rookie year, coming off of college, I don't know. To me, it's not a good recipe. But again, I don't want to. My hope is if she does do that she stays healthy the entire time. But to me, it's a lot of wear and tear on your body. So. Michaela, why can't the WNBA add like 2 extra roster spots? Well, because they would have to agree to it in the CBA. So they have a collective bargaining agreement that is going to be up pretty soon, or at least they can opt out of it pretty soon. And so in that, they can decide on what they want to do, whether that's increase the roster spots, whether that's increasing the salary cap, like whatever it is. That stuff has to be negotiated in the collective bargaining agreement. Yeah, Christian. Yep. First round picks were cut last year. Yep. Michael says, I got Hailey Van Lith in the second or third round if she comes out, unless many players decide to come back. I mean, I think a lot of players are coming back. So I think she's a first round pick. But yeah, she has to plan accordingly. You have to see, because once you declare, that's it. You can't go back to college. You can't be like, oh, I made a mistake. Let me, please take me back. They're not gonna take you back. The NCAA is not gonna take you back. Once you declare for the WNBA draft, that's it. You're a pro. You can't come back to college. So yeah, you have to be extremely sure about your decision. There are no takebacks. There are no takebacks. Let's see. Wesley says Hailey got her groove back. Tabitha says, don't forget, Dawn has sent 2 to the WNBA from the bench. They'll be fine. But it's crazy how a team 29-0 only has 1 player in the SEC first team. Total hate. Is it though? Okay, who you replacing with who then? I mean, that's my thing. Like, I think that South Carolina is absolutely dominant, phenomenal team, but it's more of a team and not so much of individual greatness from players. And I think that's why you only have 1 player on the SEC first team. So that's sort of my take on it. Who you taking off? Who you taking off of the first team to put? Yeah. So let's actually look at that real quick. So here is the first team All ACC. Tabitha, who are you taking off? Like, I think that South Carolina has done great, but at the end of the day, it's not total dominance by 1 or 2 players that gets South Carolina to where they're at. It's it's the consistency of having multiple players make an impact, where you don't really have anybody scoring, a ton of points a game. Like you don't really see it for South Carolina. So to me, it's not about the first team designation goes to the best stats for the most part. It goes to the best stats. South Carolina is a team that just wants to win. And I think that's to me, that's the difference. That's the difference. Yes, they're extremely talented, but like I don't know. I don't think that I don't have a problem with South Carolina only having one player on the first team list. But I would love to hear what y'all have to say about that in the chat. Am I wrong? Let me know. Let me know how I'm wrong in the comments. Let's see what y'all got to say. I got to scroll all the way down. Rover says South Carolina has no stars. That's the strength of their team. Yeah. I think yeah, that absolutely is a strength of South Carolina. How they can be the number one team in the country and still not really have they have great players, but they not really have like stars. You know what I'm saying? Shondell says Tahina Pow is worthy of being on the first team. Who are you taking off though? High Vibration says so it's all about stats and not winning. I mean, for the all SEC first team, yes, it's about stats. It's about individual stats. It's about how you are as a defender, how you are as an offensive player, not how your team is. It's how you are as a player. So yes, it is about stats and not about winning. And when it comes to the first team all SEC. Lil says that first team all SEC is correct. Officer Davis says Sarah Ashley Barker for Pow. Really? I mean, I thought Sarah Ashley Barker has been phenomenal this season. I mean, yes, Pow has been great too, but personally, I would keep Sarah Ashley Barker where she is. Personally. GoSam says Pow did shoot 49% from 3-point this year. She led the country. I can see her on the second team all SEC though. Yeah, I mean Pow is great, absolutely phenomenal. But I think again, the fact that South Carolina is so like team oriented. I think that I don't know. I think in terms of individual stats, I think that could hurt players in terms of their individual stats. Now, are they better in the long run for that? Yes. because the way Don runs her program, you're going to get ready for the WNBA. You're going to be prepared, right? You may not have the individual stats and you may not win all the individual awards. However, you're going to be ready. So it's a trade-off to me. It's a trade-off that you get when you play for a team like South Carolina. I mean, where net you're ending up in a positive land, right? So yeah. But yeah, if Pow was shooting the way she's shooting on another team, she would have a lot more points because she would be asked to shoot a lot more than she is with South Carolina. Though with South Carolina, when she shoots, she's probably gonna make it. She's probably gonna make it. Willie says South Carolina has the most dominant team, but there are better players on other teams. South Carolina has the perfect storm of talent, depth, and great coaching. Absolutely agree with that, Willie. Absolutely agree with that. Yes. Yeah, that's straight up facts to me. That's straight up facts. Wesley says that's Don's strategy. Yeah, it's a good strategy. It's a good strategy. It is a good strategy. It's all about the team. It's all about the team. It is all about the team. And I'm down for it. I am absolutely down for it. Bree Wayne says, take off Ashley Barker. Really? Like, Sarah Ashley Barker is really good. Like, I mean, Tahina is too, but like, she's really, really good. Like, I'm just saying, have y'all watched Alabama play this season? Yeah, I'm just saying. LSU Tiger says, you're right, Quita. It's South Carolina fans freaking out because you're not worshiping every aspect of their team. Fair enough. Yeah, sorry, South Carolina fans. Sorry. We got a super chat. Hold up. We got Trisha, thank you so much for the super chat. I think that's your first super chat that you ever gave to the channel, so I really do appreciate that. I really, really, really do. And Trisha sent the message, said, I sent the super chat without a message. Dole. I'm thinking of that what's it? The Simpsons Homer? He like hits himself with something. He's like, Dole. Quita, I love this channel. Thanks for the great info and entertainment. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that support. I really do. I don't make a ton at all. I don't actually make a lot at all for the ads that run. Y'all see ads on YouTube and whatnot. You don't actually make really any money on it. I think like the financial channels, I think they make money off of it. So I really do appreciate when y'all give super chats. Like truly. That's a huge portion of income that comes through the channel is through super chat. So I really do appreciate that. Let's see. Kyra says, I think Pow Pow could be first team if on another team, but she doesn't need to be a star to do everything. A star do everything player. Yeah. I would agree with that, Kyra. I would agree with that. Yeah, if she's on another team, yes, she probably would get that first team, all SEC. Yep. Lil says Sarah Ashley Barker is very deserving of that selection. Yep. Judah says, always knew Quita was a South Carolina hater. Always knew it. You always knew it, Judah. You always knew it. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Judah. I tell it how I see it. Again, I don't have a favorite college team. So I say it exactly how I see it. So I'm sorry, South Carolina fans, if you're upset that I don't believe Tahina Pow Pow should have been I believe that this first team all SEC team is correct. I don't believe Tahina Pow Pow should have been a first team selection. So sorry if that makes me a hater. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Tahina Pow Pow is great, but at the end of the day, Sarah Ashley Barker is great. Who are you taking off? I'm just saying, who are y'all taking off? But Judah, you funny though. You always knew it. I mean, I gotta tell y'all, it's always people who are who are saying I'm I'm a hater for all these different teams. I say something about Iowa, then I'm a hater. And I talk about Caitlin too much, and I'm worshiping Caitlin. I talk about LSU too much, and I'm a huge LSU stan. And then I give them some criticism. You hate LSU. It's kind of funny though. It's kind of funny. It is kind of funny. JB says, I feel like there's a lot of confusion about team awards and individual awards. This year's awards have triggered a lot of fans. I'm not 100% sure why. Fans are triggered. Fans are triggered. Fans are triggered. And y'all, I love us sort of, being able to kiki and talk about the game. Like, y'all, we are a 400 plus strong in this chat, y'all. It is just wild. So thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining in. Let me know what y'all think about the conversation in the chat. Y'all, we will be back for some more lives throughout this week. I will not be live tomorrow. I have another engagement that I have to do. So I will not be live tomorrow, but I will be putting out some videos tomorrow. I will be live on Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday. I really want to just, go live as much as I can to really make sure you all know what's going on in the world of women's college basketball, because y'all, we're in the wild period of March Madness. So also, guys, we will be having a March Madness bracket. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, we're gonna be all in. We're gonna be all in for women's college basketball this March. Yeah. Mickey says Trisha loves Quita. Appreciate y'all. I appreciate the love. Let's see. Go Sam says they're number one team in the nation. If LSU won more, they probably. Oh yeah, about people talking a lot about South Carolina. Trisha said, I figured I've been watching you more than Netflix the last couple of months, so past time to pay up. I have replaced Netflix. My lot in life is perfect. I have replaced Netflix. No, I appreciate that, Trisha. I appreciate that. Oh, man. Kyra says the secret's out. Quita hates South Carolina. The secret's out, y'all. The secret's out. Oh man. Let's see. Yes. Disruptive one, I agree. Yep. When you go to South Carolina right now, you are making individual sacrifices for team goals. Facts. Yes. But in the end, net, I think you end up in a positive spot. Yeah. So just saying. So yes, you are making individual sacrifices though. You are making individual sacrifices. So let's see what else y'all got to say. All right. Bando says, Quita Sarah Ashley Barker had 2 points against Tahina Pow. I mean, sure. But for the season, I think Sarah Ashley Barker is averaging like 17 points a game on the season. So, what we saying? Also, Sarah Ashley Barker's field goal percentage is like above 50%. If not, it's just at 50%. So like, she may have had a bad game against South Carolina, but hold on, actually, let me look at her stats against South Carolina. Let me look at her stats against South Carolina. Let me see. But overall, Sarah Ashley Barker is a baller. Like, even if she struggled against South Carolina, she is a straight up baller. So it looks like they played against each other in February, and Sarah had 4 points. But also she only played 22 minutes in the game, that game. But look at the body of work that Sarah Ashley Barker has given to Alabama. Look at the body of work. Look at how Alabama's in the top 4 for the SEC, and the reason why is because of Sarah Ashley Barker. She's averaging. So I'm actually. Let me look at this right now. She's averaging 17.2 points a game. She's averaging 50.5% from the field. I mean, what are we talking about, guys? Like, she's absolutely deserving of being a first team all SEC. I don't get it. Like, why are we talking about her like she's like trash or something? Like, no, like she's very good, extremely good. So I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. You know, they're a top 4 team in the country, and it's because of a player like Sarah Ashley Barker. Willie says, just shows the deep talent in the SEC regarding women's basketball. Yes, I absolutely agree. You just said stop the hate. Oh, man. Miss Drama Queen. What a name, Miss Drama Queen. Miss Drama Queen says, LSU fan here, and you be spot on about them. Love criticism because I be talking the same thing. All right. Oh, there's some talk about Raven Crockpot Johnson. The Disruptive One says the first team all SEC is right. Kyra says 300 likes, question mark. Let's get it. Yes, let's get it. Let's hit that like button. That would be fan-freaking-tastic. All right, so first of all, I do just want to say, guys, thank you so much for rocking with me. I really do appreciate y'all joining in the chat. And really y'all make this whole thing fun with y'all engagement in the chat and us sort of like talking about this game together and us sort of reacting to each other, and some of the wild stuff that we say in the chat. But I'm here for it, and I love it. Bree Wayne says, Quita, come on. Tahina is on a undefeated team, swept the SEC, but she doesn't deserve to be over there because Sarah, didn't you say Brink was player of the year because she was on Stanford, the team that won the pack? Look, so here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Cameron Brink is very different than Tahina Paopao. South Carolina is a like team where, you know, you don't really have a player who's like absolutely dominating. Stanford's all about Cameron Brink. Stanford runs through Cameron Brink. And now Kiki Irafen, because she's been showing up and doing her thing. The reason why I think that when you have two elite players like a Cameron Brink and like a Juju Watkins going head to head for the player of the year, to me, it's, I mean, I kind of talked about it earlier, but like that piece about being on a winning team, I think that is just another feather in the cap that just sort of like weighs it down and allows you to win. I would say, because, you know, Cameron Brink had it all. She had the offense. She definitely had the defense. And Juju Watkins just had offense primarily. And also, Cameron Brink is on a winning team. So I think that I think being on a winning team does help you, but also you kind of need to also be in the room as well. And I think the fact that South Carolina is such a team-oriented team, a winning first type of team. Of course, all teams are winning first, but like the way that South Carolina plays, you're not going to see total domination by players. And I think that hurts them when it comes to individual awards. Will it ultimately help them in the end? Probably. I mean, they're likely to win the championship this year. So will they get huge benefits in the end? Yeah, sure. But I mean, yes, you know, I don't know. I don't see what the big deal is. I really don't see what the big deal is. To me, it's not a big deal that she's not on the all SEC team. First all SEC team. I don't think it's a big deal, but yeah, maybe I'm just not understanding what everyone sees as the issue. J Boog says, "Wow, Quita hates on South Carolina. What did I just walk into?" It's because I said Tahina Pow. I'm fine with her not being on the first team all SEC. So I hate. I guess I hate them now since I don't think she should have been. She should be a first team all SEC. I do think she is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And when she leaves South Carolina at the end of next season, I hope that she gets drafted to Chicago Sky, because Tahina Pow is a player that you want on your team. You absolutely want her on your team. So yeah, but because I disagree with people, I hate them all of a sudden. Oh, there's some Barker slander. What are people saying in the chat? AEB says, "Hey Quita, I finally caught your live. Keep up the good work. Go Oaks." Oaks. Who are the Oaks? Is that a team? Yeah, let me know. Is that a team? Oh, thank you so much. Juliana from the UK. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says, "Love from the UK." Shout out to Juliana. Shout out to all the people who are like from a different country. I think that I think it's pretty awesome that y'all are rocking with me. And I know it's a time zone difference, so I don't even know what time it is where y'all at, but I do appreciate it. I really do. Thank you so much. Let me know, Juliana, in the chat, how long you have been rocking with women's basketball. And also, do you watch, there's there's a British basketball league for women. Do you follow that? Let me know. I kind of follow the London Lions a little bit. The London Lions. But let me know if you're following British women's basketball in the league that they have there. What up, Rye? Rye, the Aces and Hawkeye guy. What up? Thanks for joining. You missed the previous conversation where we talked about Caitlin Clark, but yeah. Thanks for joining. JB says, "Listen to Kyra, like and subscribe." Facts. Like and subscribe, y'all. And yo, shout out to the mods. Shout out to the mods. Right now we just got I think we just got JB and Kyra in the chat right now. Shout out to y'all for doing y'all thing as moderators. I really do appreciate y'all. We got other mods too, but I don't think they're here right now. But I appreciate y'all though. I appreciate y'all. I really do. And we getting y'all something. We getting y'all something. I just gotta work. I gotta work it out, but we getting y'all something for y'all y'all efforts and y'all consistency for rocking with me. Rye says it's your favorite Caitlin Clark and Iowa fan to the chat. Agree, Kyra. Agree. Kyra says, I don't think anyone is saying Pow Pow isn't a better player. It's not what it means. Yes. I mean, pound for pound, if Tahina Pow Pow was on a team that needed her to be the star and score a whole bunch of points, pound for pound, yes. You know, I put her over Sarah Ashley Barker. However, in the role that she's playing right now, I think Sarah Ashley Barker is way more impactful for her team and also just in terms of like individually what she's doing. But Tahina Pow Pow can ball, straight up ball. But the role that she's specifically asked to play on South Carolina, it doesn't require her to be a huge scoring threat. Like, yes, she can score, get you some really good buckets. But also she's not asked to give you 17 points a game. She's not asked to give you 20 points a game. Right. And I think on another team, she would be asked to do that. And she would be first team all SEC. If not, would absolutely, sort of qualify for some of the other player of the year and all that good stuff, because she has the level of talent, in my opinion. She has the level of talent. It's just what she's asked to do for the team that she's currently on. RC, I don't know about that. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Marcus says, Mylasia Fulwiley needs to transfer. She's too good not to start. I mean, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. She's from the area, so she may just want to stay at South Carolina because she's just familiar with it, and she may just decide, hey, I'm in a good situation. I am going to be the best player off the bench as I possibly can be, and I will try to wade my time until the following year where I can actually start. So we'll see. I could see her staying with South Carolina and still continuing to come off the bench next season. I also could see her leaving as well. So I think, she'll figure out what's best for her in this situation and go for that. Appreciate you, Miss Drama Queen. Dude, that name is so funny. So funny. Shondell says Iowa championship is not happening this year. Oh, man. Arthur Davis says, I F with Quita, but the South Carolina haters. It's great. Oh man, y'all are yeah, I love y'all. Y'all some rock stars. Tabitha says, just stop. The hate is so real against South Carolina. They punish everybody, and these supposed lesser players dominate. But are they dominating though? I mean, who's dominating? Sure, they got player awards, sure, but like the only team that's dominating is South Carolina. Like individual to me, sure, if you want to put a lot of stock in individual stats, whatever. But ultimately, it's about what your team can do. And South Carolina still is the extreme. They're the example of total domination. Total domination. That's South Carolina. I mean, so I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal that they may not win individual stats, because I mean, at the end of the day, does it matter for you to be on a first team All SEC and get bounced in the first round of the NCAA championship, like in the NCAA tournament? Does it matter? Like I think that when you're looking at a team, you want to be like South Carolina, like a team, you know, a team that, you know, if a player gets hurt or something, you're not completely screwed, right? But also with being a team that just sort of like everybody pulls together and makes stuff happen. I think that the downside is that the individual won't shine as much when you are one band, one sound, right? You know, like you really are one band, one sound. It's like the Drumline movie, right? You are in perfect harmony with each other. So there's not one player who severely stands out, right? Because everybody's working together and it's all like harmonious together. But if that's if that's the team that you're building, ultimately the team that probably will be the most successful in the end. But if that's the team you're building, you're going to lose in some of the individual stats. It just is what it is. Like, you can't have both, in my opinion. You can't have both. So I don't know. Whatever. If I'm still a hater, I don't know. I'm still probably a hater, I guess. You know, like you can't have both. You can't have both. And South Carolina is really, really good, but at the same time, like you probably won't get the same individual stats if you're trying to, you know, run up the score and get everything, player of the year, first team, all SEC, all that good stuff. Maybe you don't want to go to a team that's like really, really a team, right? Maybe you want to go to a team that will let you kind of do what you want to do and let you score and let you like dominate, right? So I don't know. That's my thoughts, guys. This is really feeling like a whole like South Carolina only stream, which is like that was not the intention of this stream, was for it to just completely derail into South Carolina only talk, because South Carolina is not the only team in the country. There are other teams in the country that we can absolutely talk about. Sure, if you all want to keep talking about South Carolina, whatever, sure, we'll keep doing it. But yeah, there's other teams. I feel like in general, it feels like a lot of people who are like very active with women's basketball in terms of college, it's primarily dominated on the SEC. Like it feels like that's the case. It feels like a huge amount of the fans are SEC dominant. So they know a lot about the SEC, and then they fall into either LSU or South Carolina. And they gonna rap for their school, and I don't mind that at all. Rap for your school, rock out. But it doesn't feel like there's a lot of conversation about what's going on in the ACC. There's not much conversation about what's going on in the Pac-12. You know, if there's talk about anybody else, it's about Iowa, and that's because of Caitlin Clark. But I think that when you're, I don't know, like I think that it's just, Yeah, women's basketball is dominated online. Women's basketball online is dominated by the SEC. You know, it really is. It really is dominated by the SEC. So I'm just, you know, and that's all a lot of people want to talk about, and I'm fine with that. You know, if you want to talk about it, I'm fine with that. But at the same time, there are a lot of other teams in the country. It's a, you know, anyway. J Book says, okay, Drumline. Oh man. Dr. Drew says South Carolina sounds like Cowboy fans. I wouldn't put that on South Carolina fans. I mean, I think Cowboy fans have a bad rap, a very bad rap, and I wouldn't put that on South Carolina fans. I wouldn't put that on them. Let's see. KA says, real South Carolina and Quita fans, no, you are not a hater. We just got to talk our beep. That's fair. And that's fair. And that's what we all here for, you know. Hey, talk your stuff. Talk your talk. Talk your talk, man. Talk your talk. Because we are here for it. All right, let's see what else y'all got to say. Rye says, I give Quita a 25 out of 10 in a 10 out of 10 ranking because she put the old young goat in the thumbnail. That's funny. High Vibration says, we deep in here, the fams roll deep. I mean, y'all, I tell y'all this. I love how y'all rock out for y'all team. Like fandoms is what makes basketball fun, right? Is what makes basketball entertaining. I love it. Back in the day, it was UConn fans who were just everywhere, right? When you ever said anything about UConn, you had all these people getting after you, saying how crazy you were and whatnot, because they rolled hard for their team. And I think that's something that South Carolina does, or South Carolina fans do now, is that they roll so hard for their team, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, that's something that's cool, you know. I think LSU fans roll hard. Caitlin Clark fans roll hard. Whether or not those Caitlin Clark fans are also Iowa fans, TBD. We'll find out next year. If they are actually Iowa fans or if they were just Caitlin Clark fans. Officer Davis says the difference between the Cowboy fans and the fams is that we won 2 championships since 30 years ago. That is funny. That is funny. That is very funny. Luminera says, Mylasia Fulwiley will likely go the Raven Johnson route and wait her turn, not the Snaya route. Correct move for her. Yeah. I mean, that's possible. That's absolutely possible. That is absolutely possible. Michaela says, one thing about South Carolina fans, they're going to go to war for their team no matter what. That's facts. That's facts. That is absolute facts. What happens next says, I would love to sit beside some of you at a game. Others, I might accidentally drop my drink on. Oh my goodness. We got to do some sort of meetup or something. We got to do something. We have to do something. Yes, we got to do something. Cause it would be fun. It would be fun. It would be so fun to hang out with y'all at a game or something. All right, y'all. I think we're gonna have to go for the day. Y'all, it is 9:00 where I'm at. I gotta walk my dogs. I haven't walked them yet. And I gotta go to work tomorrow, so I need to go to sleep. So, guys, I do appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I really do. I just really love the fact that y'all were able to join me for this stream. I really, really, really do. What? Tabitha says, you are wrong, Quita. We love Juju, Hannah, Juju Watkins, Hannah Hodaga. I'm gonna say their full name, so if people don't know who they are, they can look them up. We love Juju Watkins, Hannah Hodago, Alyssa Peely, Cody McMahon, Angel Reese, Anissa Morrow, Flauja Johnson, Honesty Scott Grayson, Cameron Brink, and others. But we gotta speak on the hate. These girls work so hard. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Are you talking on behalf of South Carolina fans? I mean, yeah. All the players that you listed and more are freaking phenomenal. Absolutely, and they deserve their props as well. But yeah, I truly, if you, I was just joking about the whole hate thing, but if y'all actually do think I'm hating on a player or whatever, I really don't understand how, because I'm not. But yeah, you know, if you think that, you know, it sort of is what it is. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know exactly what you're referring to. Those players are great. South Carolina players are great. Everybody's great. All right, guys. I think I gotta go. Let me just see any last comments. Any last comments before I. Any last comments? Any last comments? Opposite David says no. Oh man. Richard says y'all sleeping on Juju defensively. She is at the top of the conference in steals and blocks. Yeah. I don't know about blocks. I don't think she's leading in blocks. But in terms of steals, again, I don't know for sure if she's leading. If she's not leading, she's very close to it. Juju Watkins can get some steals. She can get some steals. I don't know about blocks. I don't know about, I don't have the stats right in front of me, but I really highly, highly doubt that Juju is leading the conference in blocks. Oh, okay. Tabitha says, no, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the selection committees. Okay. J-Book says, Quita, you work, have 2 dogs, and churn out all this content. How? My job and dogs really ragged. It's because, it's truly because, my life is, my life wraps around only a small amount of things. It's church, it's work, it's my dogs, and it's, my immediate family. And it's women's basketball. And women's soccer. It consumes a lot of my day. And now I just have people to talk about it with on the internet instead of calling my mom all the time and telling her about what's going on in women's basketball. So yeah, I'm very busy. I have a lot of stuff going on, but I do love women's basketball, and I do want to continue to cover it. But yeah, there's no actual money in this, so of course I got to keep my real job. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on, but I love doing this stuff. Bree Wayne said, Q said she tired of talking about South Carolina. Good night, Quita. Luminera says, Quita, are you going to sell your Sky season tickets for the Fever game, make some money, or I'm going. No. I am a person who prefers to go to a game than watch it on TV. So yeah, I'm going. And also, I might be going to Indianapolis to watch the Fever play the Sky at their home. So yeah, I'm definitely watching. Definitely watching. Definitely. Nalan says you're going to cover women's Olympic soccer. I don't know. I love soccer and whatnot, but I don't think I have the time. I don't think I have the time to cover that. Yeah, I think that's too much. I did make a soccer channel because I was going to cover the World Cup, and I made one video, and it got too much. It got too much because I have a full time, like full time, do more hours than an actual full time job. I do this channel and try to make sure you all are like, consistently getting content. I have a life. I have dogs. I have a family. So yeah, I don't know if I will be able to cover Olympic soccer. I will be watching those games, but I don't know if I will be able to make videos about it. Yeah, because that's just a lot. That is a whole lot. What happens next says, I just noticed Quita is close to 10,000 subscribers. Smash that like button. Yeah, please smash that like button. Also, if y'all have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do that. All right, guys, that is the stream. I do appreciate y'all so much for watching. I really do appreciate y'all rocking with me. I hope y'all have a fantastic rest of your day. Guys, we will not have a stream tomorrow. Tomorrow is the start of various conferences play. So hopefully you all plan on watching that. If you all want to see when games are and whatnot and when exactly the games start, watch the video that I put out yesterday. Women's Basketball Weekly episode that I put out yesterday, where I went through every single conference tournament and let you all know the information y'all need to know about it. So watch that to get informed about what's going on with the conference tournaments. But those games do start tomorrow, at least for some tournaments. And I will not be live tomorrow, but I will be live on Thursday. The plan is to be live on Thursday. The exact time, I'm not sure. All right. So yeah, I will be live on Thursday. I will be live on Friday. And then we'll see about the weekend, what happens from there. But yeah, stay tuned if you want to know what's going on with women's college basketball, specifically into March Madness. Subscribe to the channel. Turn your notification bell on, turn the notification on YouTube, and also make sure that you get YouTube notifications on your phone or your laptop or whatever. But anyway, I do appreciate y'all. All right, let me go. I hope y'all have a fantastic night. And until next time, guys. Bye-bye.